NRL Daily for another week. So much to get to here, boys. Charlie White here, and as always, I'm joined by David Riccio and Brent Reid.
Huge Origin news, Charlie. Could have implications for KP, my man KP.
Hey, boys, let's break down the Melbourne Storm text messages. Apply the blowtorch is
Very
what
juicy.
Justin Rodsky, the Melbourne Storm CEO, says.
NRL Daily for a Monday. Charlie White here, and as always, I'm joined by the two best journos in the game. First of all, David Riccio. How are you, my
Good
friend?
to be here, Charlie. Reid man.
Hello, Dave. Hello, Charlie. Great to be here.
Mate, Monday mornings as a journo, they're not quiet for you, are they? So I saw a headline come through, 7 a.m. Brent Reid's breaking a story. What's going on?
There's a bit going on, Charlie. Bit of an Origin shake-up. We love it, an early morning shake-up, 7 a.m. shake-up. But, yeah, look, they've overhauled the State of Origin eligibility requirements, and it means that you can now play for England, New Zealand, and play for Queensland and New South Wales. So it's a pretty significant change. It's not going to affect a lot of players, but it'll affect a few. And it's a significant change that they've been mulling over for a while. I mean, they've been talking about this for almost 12 months, I reckon, and they finally made the decision.
It's important to clarify the rules are still quite structured. So you have to have been in Australia before you were 13.
13, yeah.
Yep, so that's the same rule. All born in New South Wales.
You've got to be eligible under the current rules for Queensland and New South Wales. But if you are, for example, the obvious one's Victor Radley, eligible for New South Wales, plays for England. Because he plays for England, he can't play for New South Wales. Now he can. So Victor Radley now becomes eligible. Kalen's the other really interesting one, Kalyn Ponga. There's been a lot of talk around what Kalyn Ponga is going to do in terms of international footy. He came out last week and said, I'll look at it after Origin. He doesn't have to wait till after Origin now. He can make a decision now. He can pledge to New Zealand if he wants to, and he's eligible for Queensland. So it's not going to affect a lot of players. Adam Fanua-Blake's a really interesting one. Played for one test for New Zealand, can't play for couldn't play for New South Wales. Now he can. And we all know the Blues, they're very lean up front. So he's an obvious one as well.
There's a stack of fans up in arms about this, fellas, and they are blue. They're very much traditionalists, and they don't believe the fact that this should be shifting by including players that have already represented countries outside of Australia. Initially, my gut feel was the same way. However, as I start to think about it, there's nothing that should be stopping Adam Fanua-Blake, who's a mascot Jets junior, I believe, and who was born and raised here in Sydney. He's eligible. Now, under the current criteria, it still stays the same. You need to be in the country playing schoolboy rugby league by the age of 13. And that doesn't change. Ronaldo Mulitalo still misses out. He didn't get here until 13 and something months.
Yeah.
He just misses out. It won't be a mass influx of players that have either played for New Zealand or England that are playing Origin. Jerome Hughes misses out. Casey McLean now becomes a genuine option. And as Reedy said, AFB, he would walk straight into that front row with Payne Haas now, and that's quite formidable for the Blues. I'm sure you're worried about that, Reedy.
Dead set. No, not worried at all, mate. We get Tommy Flegler back. We're flying.
Yeah.
Dead set. Origin hasn't been a selection trial for the Australian team for how long now? Decade,
Years and
15 years.
Yeah.
It's not an Australian selection trial anymore. So all these people are throwing their arms up in the air saying it should just be Australian players. It's rubbish. It hasn't even been that.
It's not open
Crichton,
slather.
Jerome Luai, they don't play for Australia and they're playing Origin. So why are we selective about who can and can't play Origin when the rules already cater for players who don't play for Australia playing Origin? They're the obvious ones, Crichton, and maybe there's a chance now guys like Isaiah Katoa, for example, he was mulling over whether to play for New Zealand and he's played for Tonga. He didn't play for New Zealand because he wanted to play Origin. Well, maybe now Katoa this is going to strengthen New Zealand because players aren't going to turn their back on New Zealand like they were previously, which is, I think, good for international footy. If Katoa goes to New Zealand, it hurts Tonga, but we need a strong New Zealand. And if they get a Harsberg and Katoa and Jerome Hughes, they've already got Dylan Brown. Man, that's pretty good.
Dylan Brown misses out.
You leave Dylan Brent out?
He's not eligible for Origin.
Oh, sorry.
He didn't get here to Australia before the age of 13. So it's not an open slather rule change where everyone can play Origin now. There's still parameters around it. I can get the uproar from fans that just want to keep it the same and keep it that sacrosanct eligibility criteria that what it was. But the game is shifting. And as I said, if you've been here and fit the criteria before the age of 13, And despite the fact that you may have already represented New Zealand, I don't have a massive problem
This is
with
the
it.
issue, Dave. As you said, fans want a sacrosanct. It hasn't been sacrosanct has it ever been? We had Tony Carroll play for Queensland,
Yeah.
James Tarmo.
GI would be eligible for the Blues now.
So, I mean, the issue is
That was a joke.
we've allowed players to play Origin and not play for Australia for years.
Yeah.
This is just extending a little bit. The
interesting one as well, Britton Nickera. I was talking to his manager, Tupou Sopogoa, on the way in.
Oh.
Queenslander.
Is he a Queenslander? I didn't know that.
He's a
Oh,
Queenslander.
wow.
So Kurt Capewell, Ruben Cottle, your back rowers in game 3. Yeah,
Jeremiah
Nanai on
Nanai.
the bench.
Who
Nickera is a
do
good
we have in
shout.
game 3 again? Take me through it.
Your whole team? Do you want me to go 1
No,
to
just the
17?
back row.
You're telling me you don't know your team.
I can't remember.
Oh, there you go.
Ruben
I know.
Cotter.
I'll tell you what I
Means a
do
lot to
know.
you.
We won the series. I did
Means
have
a
that,
lot to
Dave.
you.
You did. Ruben Cotter, Kurt Capewell, and then obviously Nanai on the bench
Oh.
for you.
Nickera might get. He might
reckon
get
he's a
run.
chance,
He's
isn't
a
he?
big chance.
The big in, there's absolutely the biggest in is Adam Fanor-Blake for the New South Wales. And with the greatest respect to Max King, who had an outstanding season, Fanor-Blake and Payne Haas will be the starting front row, or over his obviously injury and suspension pending. And that is so formidable.
It's funny how last
Not
year.
worried, Dave.
Yeah,
Not worried,
rubbish.
mate.
It's funny how last year we were talking about, Sharks got no Origin
couple of
players.
powder
Yeah.
puffs,
And
mate.
now we're
Mate,
potentially throwing two more players
I'm
in
the
there.
biggest flag bearer for Origin being the greatest indicator to your finals aspirations.
You are. You've got that theory.
Yeah. Pythagoras' theorem.
Yeah. What is it again? 4 players?
You've
got to have
it's
4 players.
4.6
4.6
on average.
players.
So, and the Sharks have just been way down the pecking order in Origin representation, which is why I've always been on the Roosters case. They've got so many.
Yeah.
But certainly, as you said, Adam Fanor-Blake, maybe Britton Nickera really starts to strengthen them.
Does this almost guarantee that Kalen Ponga is going to go play for New Zealand? Now, there was all the rumours that he's never played for Australia intentionally to keep that option open to go play for New Zealand later in his career. Do we almost expect now that Ponga is going to go play for New Zealand?
He still needs a dispensation because he played nines for Australia in
Right.
2019. But AJ Brimson's a precedent for that because AJ did the same thing. So he'll get a clearance. If he goes to the International Rugby League Board and says, I want to play for New Zealand, they will clear him. My gut feeling is he will because I think he's never hidden his desire early in his career to play for the All Blacks. You know, his parents are very obviously New Zealanders and they've got Maori heritage. In fact, his sister spent last year at school in New Zealand going to a Maori school, so she could be connected to her roots. So, look, I expect Kalen to play for New Zealand, yeah. And he's got Reece Walsh in front of him.
Well, exactly.
Mind you,
Would he even
New
get
Zealand's
picked?
got Keanu Kinney,
Yeah.
who's a gun.
He's got to get there first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The other big story from the weekend or later in the week, I'm very keen to get your boys' thoughts on this. The Zach Lomax saga. And obviously, it's ended up in court, and that means text messages are revealed, and you get to see all the different little things that have been said and what's gone on. And the big one's been Matt Tripp, who's come out and texted Andrew Abdo.
No, this was Justin Rodsky.
Sorry,
the
Justin
CEO.
Rodsky.
Yeah.
My apologies. Sorry, I meant to say that. He texted Andrew Abdo and said, we need to get this done. Parramatta aren't playing ball. Apply the blowtorch.
This is the problem when you go to court, see?
It really comes out.
Everything comes out. Charlie, I don't want you to go to court because I don't want your text messages to come out.
That would be very concerning for everything, in my life.
But look, it's another development. I keep saying it. I still can't believe how deep Melbourne are going with this. And I get it, Reedy. You'll go into bat for Zach Lomax. He's a representative player. I get it. He's a talent, and he'll win. He'll help them win games. But this is a huge investment from a legal point of view, financially, for the Melbourne Storm. And I just find how far they're taking it quite surprising.
Look, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of text messages coming out, because if it goes to court, there'll be a whole lot more released. It's interesting. This was in Parramatta's brief of evidence. It was the only text message in Parramatta's brief of evidence, right? So they talked about all these other text messages. This was
They handpicked this one.
This was the only one that was in verbatim, right? So they obviously were quite happy for this to get out because it painted the storm in a negative light. But you've got to understand the context of this, right? They've been in negotiations about a release fee for Zach Lomax. They'd offered $100,000, they'd offered $200,000, and Justin was really frustrated and just sent Andrew a text saying, "Mate, we need to sort this out. Apply the blowtorch." It was a frustrated guy who was annoyed by the way it was progressing. I don't think
The
it-
Melbourne man.
I'm Melbourne man, boys.
The Melbourne man.
Storm man.
I don't have a problem with it. What's the
Really?
issue? Well, what's the issue? Why can't you write to the CEO and say, mate, can you put some heat on these blokes? And Abdo didn't respond. What's wrong with that?
So Eels CEO Jim Sarentinos has every right in your thing to also text Abdo to, hey, ease back here.
Yes.
Back us with the contract.
Yeah, why can't he do that? Why do you think this? I'll tell you why this went to court. It's because Parramatta believe the NRL. This is part of the reason it went to court. Parramatta believe the NRL was siding with Melbourne, and they wanted to stop the NRL intervening in this to make the Zach Lomax deal happen. So they went to court because it basically put handcuffs on everyone. No one could do anything. So, I'm sure all these text messages will come out in the wash. Well, Peter goes to court. No one wants this to go to court because everything will come out.
Peter V'landys has been quite expressive and open about humanising Zach Lomax. That this guy shouldn't be sidelined. So Pete has clearly declared which side of the fence he sits on. And as Reedy said, by taking it to court, the NRL just have to sort of sit back and wait to watch it unfold. I still don't know how. Does it get to the court day? I don't know if it does.
So. I imagine it'll get resolved on the steps of the courtroom, right? Because, as I said, no one. I mean, Parramatta would be happy. I'd imagine for it to go to court. I'm not sure the NRL or Melbourne wanted to go to court because I don't know. It's just not a great look for the game.
Isn't it almost tampering though for Justin Rodsky to be messaging the CEO and say, we need to get this done, apply the blowtorch?
Charlie?
The text messages allude to there being a very close relationship with Rodsky and Abdo and the fact that let's work together to take out Parramatta in this situation.
Charlie, do you not think Abdo gets text messages all the time? Do you not think Nick Politis text messages Andrew Abdo?
But apply the blowtorch is different from, hey, can you please help us with this? We're really frustrated where it's at. Can you help us solve the situation? Apply the blowtorch alludes to the fact that let's work together on this and get this sorted. Screw Parramatta.
Well, they had been in consultation over it though. Melbourne had consulted the NRL over it and kept them informed with how it was progressing. So they were talking about it, just as Parramatta were talking to the NRL about it. I don't look. I mean, it's a sexy headline, right? And it's a sexy text, right?
He wrote it.
But
it's not the headline.
It doesn't mean the NRL's done anything about it or acted on it. Mate, he would get Andrew Abdo will get text messages constantly from CEO and chairman asking them to do certain things, help out with certain stuff, and they haven't reacted to it.
But no one's criticising Andrew Abdo.
Has Abdo's reply been revealed?
No, he didn't reply. I checked with him. He said he didn't reply to the message.
Yes, but it's not. It's about the Storm. It's not about Andrew
Abdo. What's the problem with the Storm writing that text message? What have they done wrong?
I think it's tampering, isn't it?
What's he tampering with?
It's getting involved in a situation and sort of.
But they're in the middle of the situation.
Yeah, but you can't be sending messages like apply the blowtorch. Surely.
Why?
Surely.
Why?
Because it's tampering.
Because
it's not tampering. They're in negotiation. They lodged a contract for him with the NRL.
But he's telling Andrew Abdo to apply the blowtorch on another club.
Yeah.
That is not professional at all.
Well, you can argue about whether it's professional or not. I'd question whether, it's. I agree with you on that. You can question whether it's professional to send a message like that. But he's done nothing wrong. There's nothing illegal about it.
Charlie's taken a fan's point of view on the perception of that text message.
Yeah.
And it could easily be read.
I detect a bit of anti-Zach Lomax.
No, Zach Lomax is great. I would love Zach Lomax back in the game.
It's
anti-Melbourne.
It's about one of the most powerful clubs in the game sending a message to Andrew Abdo that comes across like they're working together on something. And when the Parramatta are the ones who are in the right in this situation.
But they were working together. They had been in consultation about it. They'd asked the NRL for help to resolve it.
Yeah.
So they were in consultation with the NRL.
So you think that's a fine message to send as a CEO of a club?
I don't have a great problem. As I said, I'm sure. He was a frustrated CEO, and I'm sure frustrated CEOs send Andrew Abdo text messages all the time, asking him to expressing their opinion about things. And sometimes I can imagine they're pretty colourful.
I would suggest that if we
and again, it's a personal text message. It was never meant to become public, Charlie. So,
but that doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter.
It doesn't matter if it's not meant to become public.
So your text messages to people that you send, imagining they're in a private group, a private message group, are the same as the ones you would send to, I don't know, your boss or someone.
Oh, yeah. But like a private group chat, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's not involved in a situation that's professional. This is a professional situation. So there's been issues that have arisen, so it has to become public. It's gone to court.
Well,
It's very different between messaging your mates in a group chat. But it's very different between messaging your mates in a group chat.
I don't know. I don't have a great issue with it. As I said, the context of it is you've got a very frustrated CEO who's trying to resolve a situation, and they're just banging their head against a wall. And he's been in consultation with the NRL about it, and he said to them, "We need to get this sorted."
Where's it at though? What's going on?
At the moment, we're going to court because they tried again. They offered another resolution to it. They met. Matt Tripp spoke to Matt Beach, who's the Paris chairman, last week. They offered another
Upgraded
settlement,
financial offer.
and again it was knocked back. So it's going nowhere.
Yeah. Now, Dave, big story from you. Scott Sorensen, what's the latest?
Yeah, look, interesting one. And Perth Bears continuing their attempt to build this roster for the 2027 season. Scotty Sorensen, the 4-time premiership winner, 32-year-old. He is weighing up a 2-year offer. All intents and purposes, we expect Scotty to take this deal. I think it's a clever signing. Everything about Scott Sorensen is work ethic and attitude. And he's a standard setter. And I think that's what the Perth Bears need. You know, a hard-working forward, knows what success looks like. And as I said, I think Scotty will end up taking this. Reedy, you've got the same mail, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it'll phase into a job, won't it? Post-career. I still think they need a marquee. I
don't think they'll get one.
Name. You don't think they'll get
Unless
one?
some dominoes fall, I don't see how they get one. If you talk to the Perth Bears, they're not focused on this $1 million plus signing. They're just not. It's almost like build the wall, build the base, and then pick up the marquee later.
They're pretty close with a couple of other players as well, but they're not huge. Well, they're good names, but they're not huge names, right? So I'd imagine by the end of next week or the week after, they'll have 16 players signed, which is more than half their squad. And I think the big name that they're all on, it's been widely sort of speculated. They're waiting to see what happens with Matt Burton, just how that shakes out at Canterbury. And he'd be a great signing for them if they can make it happen.
Yeah.
But he's contracted for 27. That's the issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Burton would be a really good pickup for everything that we know about him. And the ability to play a number of positions too, because that's what the Bears, I think they'll find that they'll need in that first startup season. They will have to have some versatile plays because they probably won't have a marquee fullback, a marquee half, you know?
I mean, they're putting together a solid squad, but does it excite me? No. And Scott's, you know what I mean?
It's got bottom 4 written all over it.
No, mid-table.
Mid-table?
Maybe. But Scott's he's a great signing for him because, as Dave said, he's a pro. He'll lift standards. He'll drive culture. And that's why they're looking at him and he's won 4 comps. He knows what winning looks like. But I would like him to just nail a couple of big names.
Yeah. This was broken on Code Sports as well. And we've got a very special offer actually for everyone who's listening. If you wanted to sign up for Code Sports, we've got a link in the description, or you can go to codesports.com.au/MMM. Now, that link will give you 10% off on their annual Code Sports subscription, making it $49.
Wow.
$49.
Chips, mate.
That is nothing.
That's a loose change for Reedy.
That's nothing for
loose
Reedy
change
at
for the
all.
Reed man.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's Reedy has that in his glove box at all times.
I
Just
don't keep
stacks of
cash anymore,
50.
Charlie.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
In the
good.
Tesla.
That's old school, baby.
You said there's a couple names they're close to. Can you reveal them now, or are you still working on that privately?
We're still working on that. Yeah.
We'll, hopefully this week we'll be able to firm those up and get it out, and we'll be on Triple M talking about it.
This was kind of, for some clubs, the first real week of trials where we saw proper combinations, and Matt Burton unfortunately did his hamstring. Riccio, what have you heard?
Fellas, the Matt Burton injury is by far the biggest story of the entire weekend, and it was hugely concerning to see him leave the paddock in Newcastle with ice pressed to the back of that hamstring. Now, Bulldogs officials are saying that they're highly optimistic and positive that it's not a significant hamstring issue. At this point in time, they were still awaiting the results of those scans. That will ultimately determine everything. It'll determine whether he's on the plane to Vegas, whether it's worth it. And then that's a key point. Do you keep Matt Burton back here rehabbing, or do you take him to Vegas and rehab him over there as well, but also be part of the environment and also in an advisory role to what would be a new look halves pairing for the Bulldogs in Sean O'Sullivan and Lockie Galvin. And Matt Burton might just be an extra set of eyes and ears for this new set of halves. But no doubt in the world, it's a significant blow, even the fact that he is in doubt. And then the other one's Leo Thompson, who was pulled out of the All-Stars match with a calf issue. Leo's had a indifferent preseason. He's been in and out of the training squad for the majority of the preseason. As he came down from Newcastle, he needed to adjust to the Bulldogs style of conditioning. He went and got some extra work with some personal training by respected trainer Justin Lang. And now he's got a calf issue. So calf problems we know aren't ideal either. And I would say also he's in some doubt too for Vegas. So still a little bit to play out here, fellas. But absolutely the biggest story of the weekend, Matty Burton's hammy.
Yeah. So lucky they signed Sean O'Sullivan in the off-season. Very handy footballer, Sean. Very intelligent footballer. And I reckon he'll combine well with Lachlan Galvin. I thought Galvin looked really good in that trial at the weekend. So whilst Burton's a really good player and they're going to miss him, they're lucky they got Sean there to play alongside Lockie Galvin. The other thing, I tell you, it's a blow to the NRL as well because they were going to use Burton heavily to promote the game because of his big boot, right? It would have been perfect. They'd have got him out.
Well, it's a blow for Burton.
Because it's a blow for Burton.
No, because, mate,
I'm thinking about the NRL.
It was a legit opportunity for Burton.
To showcase himself.
I'm really disappointed because he would have the ability to put himself in the shop window, of which has always been in the back of his mind to potentially have a crack at the NFL. Yeah. And now, if he is ruled out, it's a blow for us as fans and commentators of the game to be able to lose this. He would have been putting up monstrous kicks. No doubt in the world.
I'll tell you what, if you're a Dogs fan, you're disappointed, but after watching the Dragons at the weekend, you're not too concerned.
Just before you move on to
you know what I mean?
Just before you move on to Saints, you touched on Sean O'Sullivan and Lockie Galvin.
Yeah.
And
they would seem to complement each other really well.
Well, they did. Yeah. As soon as O'Sullivan came onto the field, he played a traditional 7 role with Lockie being able to play that freelance footy that he can play. And I think it's a win. My concern going forward is, what do the Dogs look like in round 3 or 4 if they've won their first 3 or 4 and Burton's fit again? Do we see another Bulldogs halves change after the first month of footy and go back to Burton and Galvin? And look, I know it's hypotheticals and we don't know yet, but it's a really interesting situation because when you're winning and you got O'Sullivan, who I know the Dogs have got absolute belief in, and Lockie Galvin, that's another major change if Burton comes in.
You know what, Dave? This could have a real ripple effect, right? Because if that happens and Burton gets moved to the centres, suddenly if you're Canterbury, are you looking at that? Are you at that point with your cap where we've got Burton on huge money playing the centres? Is this the catalyst for maybe that move at the end of the season for Matt Burton?
Maybe.
You spoke about the Dragons. They basically, their first grade team lost to New South Wales Cup team. It was disastrous, Reedy. Absolutely disastrous.
Not great. Not a great result for them heading to Vegas.
They played completely impatient football, St George Illawarra. They gave away like 24 points in tries just by flicking crazy balls out of their backside. Poor defensive reads. I will say this, by the younger players, your David Farleys and two on the wing came up with some inexperienced plays. And I think it's all fixable from a Saints point of view on those fronts. However, it was disappointing. It really was, because you expected Saints to fine-tune and have that final say before they hit Vegas against a very much, I would say, third string.
Maybe South's going to be better than we thought they'd be.
Maybe the New South Wales Cup team's going to be better than we thought.
The big blow there was Jonah Glover with a fractured jaw. It was really disappointing for the kid.
You were sidelined for that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a major blow. But they were solid Souths. They were good.
Are you saying it's a quick fix for the Dragons, Dave, potentially, or you?
I think the issues that they showed on the weekend are quick fixes. It's a matter of whether they. I will say this: I think Atkinson and Flanagan will actually take time.
I didn't see a lot of this game
because
I'm intrigued how Atkinson went.
Well, Atkinson's going to take time. He's not a starting NRL half, or hasn't been, and he needs to get away from that Mr. Fix-It role, because what he was doing on the weekend was trying to solve every problem for Saints, where he needs to just narrow the focus and play as a genuine 7.
Trials, you sort of got to take them with a grain of salt, obviously. You know, I think I saw something that the Knights fans were panicking, and then someone commented, well, in the year 2001, we didn't win any of our trials, so take it with a grain of salt. But we're
2001.
We're going to play a bit of trials, fact or fiction here.
Okay, hands on your buzzers.
The Dragons fans should be panicking after the loss to Bunnies.
I'm not panicking. I'm not panic. I'm disappointed. But I wouldn't think panic is something you need in a trial match.
I'm a little panicked, yeah.
No, you always panic.
Yeah.
On the scale, you know, you have the fire scale where it's like danger, danger.
Yeah,
What level is it?
What do you say?
I think it's like extreme warning.
Yeah.
What's above that?
Slight warning.
Slight warning. Let's go with slight warning because Flano's good. Flano's a very good coach, so I'm sure he'll fix them.
Yeah, alarm bells.
But I'm concerned.
Yeah, Valentino Tavane has already scored the try of the season.
Yeah.
That was insane.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to beat. That's a YouTube $1 million, a million views type try. Like it was crazy.
That'll end up in the Las Vegas promo video, won't it?
Xavier Coates-esque.
Yep. His brother scored a cracker. Did you see Phil Coates?
Did he? I didn't see that, no.
Playing for the Broncos in a trial at the weekend. Phil Coates scored a ridiculous try.
Is he similar sort of shape to Xavier?
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing try.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
The Knights' attack is set to struggle with Dylan Brown. They obviously scored 0 points.
I reckon they'll have some good weekends and some poor weekends. I just think they're going to lack consistency. I'd be playing Fletcher Sharp and I'd actually stick and Sandon Smith on the bench.
Yeah.
Play him as a 14. I'd play Sharp and Brown.
That's fiction for me.
You think they've got points in them, Dave?
Boys,
I think they've got points
in them. Can you just chill out? It was a trial match. Like, seriously.
No, that's not what we do, mate.
So Charlie's asking, are the Knights going to struggle to attack with Dylan Brown?
We're here for hysteria, mate.
We're
not here for calmness. What are you on about?
Calm down.
A bit of mayhem and madness.
I will give you hysteria this year, but I'm not on this account.
I'm not worried about their attack. I'm worried about their forward pack.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
And if their forward pack can't at least break
it's
even,
a huge
they're
concern.
not going to score a lot of points.
Forward pack for the Knights is a huge concern.
Well, the team they went up against, the Dogs, we've got here, the Dogs' defence can win them a premiership after watching that trial.
Well, defensively, they're a good football team. They were a good football team last year. I think they're actually going to work out their attack in around that Galvin factor. You know?
But the defence won't be a problem. Defence won't be a problem for the Dogs. We know that. They come from a defensive-minded coach. It won't be an issue. Does it win them a premiership? I don't think so. No, not yet.
Joey Walsh is the superstar half that Manly needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fact.
I reckon he'll be starting the halves at some point.
And Manly need a lot more
at some point this year he'll take over from one of those two blokes. I don't know which one, but he'll take over Joey Walsh.
If in the 1 to 17, Joey Walsh needs to be in the 1 to 17 for the Manly Sea
1 to
Eagles.
19 now, Dave.
1 to 19, corrected. For round one, absolutely.
Tony Large look pretty good too.
Yeah,
they're looking good, Manly.
Would that be, do you think, more likely for Luke Brooks dropping out of that team? Is that what you're hearing?
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah.
Only what I've just said.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the case, Charlie. Not yet. Not yet.
I wouldn't rule it out at some point.
Yeah, not round one.
No, not in round one. At some point during the year, yeah. Depending on how Brooksy goes, I wouldn't rule it out.
Moment of the weekend, Tom Flegler scoring a try.
How good.
Can he get back to his origin level this season?
It's very hard to get into that Queensland team, Charlie. It's red hot, but he'll be in there. Mate, imagine him just smashing blokes for Queensland.
Not happening for Noel Blake and playing arse.
We're already dominant, and now we get Tommy Flegler and Tommy
good.
Gilbert in
It
there.
was very pleasing to see him back. And he looked right at home, to be honest.
Yeah.
And a lot of confidence, and it would have been, you've got to imagine being in his shoes.
Mate, he's such a good player.
Like, he would have been so nervous.
Yeah. Trials, it was just great to see it back. That was a Thursday game as well. I didn't really know we had Thursday night footy. So that was a great surprise to get that game on. But just the All-Star boys, sort of the marquee event of this preseason. Yeah. Felt like maybe it's been in the shadows a little bit. Didn't have as much promotion around it this year. What's your take on it, Dave? Because you wrote a fantastic article about it over the weekend.
Charlie, look, I'm going to cop a lot of feedback over this, and a lot of people get quite emotional about it, and I can understand why. This is a very, very delicate decision for the NRL to make. And please don't talk to me about that I don't understand heritage. I do. I've got
Italian heritage.
I've got Italian heritage, and
Yes.
I've watched my son play for Italy, and it's one of the best things that I'll ever see. However, the All-Stars concept has shifted dramatically as far as what else is on in the game and the focus and priority for the game. It shifted dramatically from the time that it was brought in 15 years ago. 15 years ago, the All-Stars concept's been around. We now have Vegas. We now have trial matches and actually a preseason challenge that is played for competition points and money. of which is live on Fox in the preseason. We now have a longer season than ever with Pacific Championships, which I think was absolutely incredible at the end of last year. We've got a World Cup coming up this year. There's a real priority on promoting the international game, and in the background is this All-Stars concept. Now, the war cry and the traditional dance prior to this match was unreal. Loved everything about it. However, something needs to be done to find either a home for this, or the game needs to make a decision not to play it at all. And I would prefer that they find another home for it.
Yeah, I believe we need to go to a 2-week grand final lead up. So 2 weeks between prelims and grand final, play All Stars in the middle of it.
Okay.
So because at some point we're going to have a player ruled out of the grand final through concussion. If you have a 2-week break, you protect yourself against that, and there's a gap in the middle. You just play All Stars on that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And
you'll have some players who don't play, but they're not playing now.
And the game look, yesterday was another great example, right? On how are we treating this game? Are we treating it like a trial match, or are we treating it like a genuine representative game, of which I believe, having spoken to a lot of the players in this team, they treat it like a genuine rep game, because some of them may never play rep footy.
Yeah.
So they view it as a genuine rep game. So why are we settling for a draw? It was almost like, this means so much to everyone, and therefore let's not give anyone a result.
Yeah.
It was like it ended up being like a preseason trial match.
We need to keep it. There's no doubt. I think we definitely need to keep it.
And keep it as Indigenous Maori All-Stars, or open it up to, every NRL player in the game.
Well, we've done the World All-Stars previously.
I didn't mind the World All-Stars.
Yeah.
Should we bring that back? That was good fun.
The problem is, fellas, you still have pushback from coaches, which I can appreciate. You still have pushback from RLPA, who now have fixed timelines for when players can get back to preseason training. And then, therefore, you are at risk of greater injury when players only have, i.e., a 3 to 4 week preseason, then play an All-Stars game. This is the issue. There's so much on, and also so many rules around how much time players need off.
I think you got to hype it up though more, the game.
Oh,
You got to do a lot more press around
so many
it
people
and pump it up.
didn't know it was on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to pump it up, because the AFL had their State of Origin on this weekend, and people thought it was going to be a nothing preseason, but the players all tried and they had a crack. The All-Stars game should be considered a marquee event and should be given lots of press. Players should be doing interviews. Like, that's how you pump it up. If we just put it there and expect people to watch, it's not going to have as much excitement around it.
Yeah. It's hard, but it's in New Zealand as well, though, because
I agree.
obviously press here aren't flying over to New Zealand to cover the game, right?
I agree. Get it in Sydney or Brisbane. Like, let's like New Zealand. I know it's
even
New Zealand
Newcastle or North Queensland, they're big stadiums, hold 30,000 people, right? So you can play it there and you get a lot of attention. But when it's in New Zealand, it was in Hamilton, wasn't it?
Hamilton, yeah.
It's hard to get a lot of Sydney and Brisbane and Queensland, New South Wales press, because we're not over there covering it.
Well, Triple M, for example, we commentated the game, but we couldn't send a sideline there, obviously, to Hamilton. We called it from the studio.
I tuned in. That was Dobbo and Jimmy Graham,
Dobbo and Jimmy Graham.
Very entertaining.
Very, was it? Did you enjoy it? Yeah, good call by them.
Yeah, Dobbo, yeah. He sent me a text afterwards, said, how good was my call?
What'd you say?
I said, brilliant, mate. Actually, I made that up. He didn't say
But that's the thing,
that.
and all other broadcasters will be in that boat as well, where they're having to do it from the studio. Nine might have had a sideline there, and that would have been about it.
Yeah, you're right. In order to promote something properly, you also need to cater to the biggest market. And Hamilton, unfortunately, isn't the greatest location.
You did a poll on Instagram about this, Dave. 47% wanted to stay in the preseason.
Yeah.
19% said move it to the end of the year. And 34% said scrap it.
Yeah. And look, I've got to say, there was a lot of emotional responses on Insta about that poll and the column that I wrote about it, because people are passionate about their heritage. And again, I'm not being disrespectful at all, but I'm only looking at the context of the entire season and how much the game has shifted dramatically to promote the international game and the large majority of these players that actually played in the All-Stars game. I'm a big fan of moving it.
If you're going to leave it pre-season, you need to play it here, I think.
Yeah.
Just so it gets enough attention and focus on it.
Yeah. And actively promote it, like get people on shows, do all that.
Yep.
Before we go, we've got like 3 minutes to go before we got to get out of here, boys.
Yep.
Payne Haas, you wrote an article over the weekend, Dave. You're not buying the PR interview that Payne did?
No, I think it was absolutely crisis management 101. The fact that the Broncos decided to do an in-house interview with Payne Haas, of which no one heard the questions. It was just Payne answering questions that have been the hot topic in and around his relationship with Madge. And I'm happy to take Payne on his word, absolutely, and that's the case. But the Broncos need to decide who they want to be. They want to be the biggest franchise in the game, or do they want to be, a club that attempts to, hide things under the carpet and not be transparent about major issues. And I'm talking about the biggest player at their football club walking out to join a rival club. And I made the point that when they announced their new logo, the Broncos logo, late last year, they held a 40-minute press conference. For Payne Haas leaving the club, who puts bums on seats, who's absolutely one of the best premier front rowers in the game, they gave a 90-second in-house video production sent to the media. And yeah, sure, I'll be called a whinging journo, etc., and that's fine. But I just didn't think it was transparent enough and not deserving for fans of a player of that magnitude.
We should stress Madge has spoke. He's done a press conference, or not press conference. He's done interviews overnight. Payne will speak eventually. You can't hide him forever, and he'll answer those questions publicly when they come. I mean, we can only take him on his word, I guess.
Yeah. And he's got to say it, doesn't he? He's got to say it.
Absolutely. What else is he going to say?
Yeah. He's in a difficult
position. He's going to say,
right?
I wanted to go play under Wayne.
Yeah.
Reedy did an interview with the manager, and the manager mentioned Wayne Bennett is being the overriding factor 8 times.
Yeah, yeah. And no mention of Madge as well from the manager,
no mention
which I thought was
Madge.
Interesting.
I think he responded to one question about Madge, didn't he?
Yeah. But in your article, there wasn't any quotes about Madge.
There was one.
Oh, there was one about him being tough.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, but not praising Madge.
Well, sort of praised him.
Kind
of.
Kind of. Not really. You've got to read between the lines sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
Great show, though, boys. Thanks for joining us on Monday morning. Dave, have a great day.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers, Charlie.